Remember that all things are possible. You must choose to be accountable, responsible, enough to believe, and open your heart to receive.
Choice. वाहिगुरु राग आसा महला चौथा सो पुरख एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद सो पुरख निरंजन हर पुरख निरंजन हर अगमा अगम अपारा सब त्याग हैं तुद जी हर सचे वाहिगुरु राग आसा महला चौथा सो पुरख एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद सो पुरख निरंजन हर पुरख निरंजन हर अगमा अगम अपारा सब त्याग हैं तुद जी हर सचे सिरजनहारा सब जी तुम्हारे जी तुम जिया का दातारा हर त्याग हो संतो जी सब दुख विसारण हारा हर आपे ठाकुर हर आपे सेवक जी क्या नानक जंत विचारा तू घट घट अंतर सर्व निरंतर जी हर एको
Feel free to breathe along with me. Fall into that magical space.
भिखारी जी सब तेरे छोट बिराना तू आपे दाता आपे भुगता जी हो तुद बिन अब न जाना तू पार ब्रह्म बेअंत जी तेरे क्या गुण आँख खाना जो सेव हैं तुद जी जन नानक तिन कुर्बाना हर त्याग हैं तुद जी से चंद जोग में सुखवासी से मुक्त पए जन हर त्याया जी तिन टूटी जम की फांसी जिन निरपौ जिन हर निरपौ त्याया जी तिन का पो सब गवासी जिन सेव्या मेरा हर जीते हर रूप समासी से तन जन हर त्याया जी जन नानक तिन बल जासी तेरी भगत भंडार जी परे बेअंता तेरे भगत सलाहन तुद जी हर अनेक अनंता तेरी अनेक करह हर पूजा जी तप तप जप बेअंता तेरे अनेक पढ़ह को सिमरत शास्त्र जी कर क्रिया खट कर्म ग्रंथा से भगत भले जन नानक जी जो पावे मेरे हर भगवंता तू आद पुरख अपरन पर करता जी तुद जेवड़ अवन कोई तू जुग जुग एको सदा सदा तू एको जी तू नहीं करता सोई तुद आपे पावे सोई वर्ता जी तू आपे करह सोई तुद आपे सृष्ट सब पाई जी तुद आपे सृष्ट कोई जन नानक गुण गावे करते के जी जो सब साका जाई
not really I'm gonna push you across the threshold
चौथा सो पुरख एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद
and help me lean into the gate.
हर पुरख निरंजन हर अगम अगम अपारा
Not permit this meditative road trip. Road trips are always fun. Like where I'll be playing music, you can come hang out with me at my gig. You can hang out, have some spirits.
हर त्याग संतो जी सब दुख विसारण हारा हर आपे ठाकुर हर आपे सेवक जी क्या नानक जंत विचारा तू घट घट अंतर सर्व निरंतर जी हर एको पुरख समाना
Thank you, everyone. Now, is that better? That's better. Equal ratio? I always have issues. Hello, Amy. Better now. Can someone actually use the word better? There we go. Thumbs up. Now I get it. Because sometimes it's hard to tell what people are referring to. Yeah. There's a certain little button I have to push, and if I don't, it gets loud. So the balance good, yeah? Heck, I'll just turn the music off. I just love the music. It helps get me into my place. So thank you for the heads up. Earlier what I was saying was, the first video you saw as the entrance to this presentation was Lavender Soul, song called Choice. We're in the process of writing a new album in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really stoked about. Also, you saw a video presentation about an event I'm going to be doing on June 24th, 6 p.m. at Art Body Soul Studio here in Memphis, Tennessee. Admission is $20. This presentation is going to be called Radical Transformation, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. And I'm going to lovingly nudge you. No, I'm not. I'm going to lovingly grab you and push you into the garden. Your best ploy is to let go and not go dragging and screaming. Everything good? Okay, good deal. So, I've been wanting to do a presentation on this subject. Though it's titled, Do You Want to Go Skinny Dipping? It's sort of a clickbait, but not really. All my stuff is metaphorical because it has more than one meaning. Sometimes it has multiple meanings other than just two. Do you want to go skinny dipping with me? Swimming naked in the divine ocean. Swimming naked in the divine ocean. So what is that all about? Get to that shortly. Please share this presentation to you all if you feel. Also, again, I am getting my YouTube viewership up and it's happening thanks to you. I'm getting more points. If you have not subscribed to my page on YouTube, that would be youtube.com/Center of Light Radio. Subscribe. Give me some thumbs up on some of the videos from all of my Center of Light archives, all my guests. Maybe leave me a couple of comments. Helps everything to get even groovier. You can do that. That would be awesome. Radical Transformation. We just talked about that. RPM, my lifelong work. Go to centeroflightradio.com. At the bottom of the opening page, you'll see a red Ferrari. Click on the car. It'll take you to another web page for RPM, Recognize, Plug, and Manifest. When we begin to recognize what it is, whatever the it is, doesn't matter what the label is, whatever the it is that's orchestrating everything, when we begin to recognize it and its movement and how it moves, when it moves, why it moves, if it moves, all those things, then it's easy to find the plug and we plug into it. This is part of what this presentation is about as well. You'll see why in a minute. And we'll get to plug into it. Everything naturally begins to happen just by sheer will. Recognize, plug in, and manifest. It has everything to do with this podcast. It does. Let's get started. Who wants to skinny dip? Swimming naked in the divine ocean. I always or often bring out definitions. They're the big guns. They're the big cannons. Can't argue with the definition. It's the collective agreement of our resource for language. Anytime we have an issue, a misunderstanding, we lean on Webster's dictionary and everything gets really clear really quick. Swimming naked in the divine ocean, skinny dipping. Peeling the clothes off. Definition of naked. Not covered by clothing. Peeling the clothes off. And you know exactly what I'm referring to. Devoid of customary or natural covering. Bare such as not enclosed in a scabbard, which is a sheath like for a sword or a blade. Pulling it out. And it also says a naked sword. I'm thinking it means, at least in this delivery, a naked sword that when we peel the clothes off, pull our spirit out of the sheath, out of the scabbard, We're left with the power and it's exposed. Not provided with a shade. Check this out. A naked light. I had no idea. I just grabbed the definitions and dropped them. This is under the definition of naked. Not provided with a shade, a naked light. Lacking embellishment, unadorned, basically. Come as you are. No frills, no bells and whistles kind of thing. Unarmed, defenseless. You'll get this in a moment. Lacking confirmation or support. This is all under being the definition of naked. Devoid of concealment or disguise. The naked, check this word out. Truth. The naked truth. Pull that clothes off, you're left with the naked truth. Unaided by any optical device or instrument, the naked eye. So basically, when we pull our clothes off, our wrapping, we can't be seen because we're pure spirit. This has to do with being vulnerable. It's not an easy task, my friend. I work with this every day. Every day. Definition of vulnerable. Capable of being physically or emotionally wounded. Hang with me and it's all going to reveal itself. Definition of vulnerable. Open to attack or damage. Vulnerable to criticism. Lord knows I went through some of that. Lots of spiritualists have. When you walk a path that is not customary or that follows the masses, or any area of your life rather, because it's all spiritual. Liable to increased penalties by entitled to increased bonuses after winning a game in contract bridge. That's another word, bridge. What does this all have to do with anything? Why did I read all this? Because it has to do with that. Are you with that program? I try hard every day. I'm getting better at it. Trust. It's about unconditional love, letting things be as they are. Trust. Though the question is rhetorical, for yourself, if you're alone or in the room and people don't know what you do, if you wrestle with this on any level, just simply raise your hand. Even though no one's going to see it, raise your hand because it's part of owning it and bringing your awareness to the situation at hand. Do you wrestle with trust? On whatever level? On how many ever levels? If you wrestle with trust to any degree about anything, maybe find one of those emoticons that has a hand and post it. Let's own up. I had an issue of trust before I started this presentation. I don't ever have issues before a presentation. But obviously, I'm going to own it. Because before I started this presentation, before I hit go, I got very nauseous. I don't have stage fright in any area of my life. I got nauseous. Nausea has to do with fear. What happens when we get nauseous and we regurgitate? We project, we expel outward. It's all induced by fear. So you can bet that after this presentation, I'm going to dive in within myself into the divine ocean naked and find out what the heck that was all about. Because I want it. I want something greater than I've ever known. And I'm getting there. And you are too. We're getting there together. I'm pulling you along and you pulling me along. We have power in numbers. The definition of trust: assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. Yanava, it has begun. One in which confidence is placed. I trust. Dependence on something future or contingent. Hope. I trust in this situation, or I just trust in general, which is hope. Hope is such an amazing, beautiful, powerful word. It has everything to do with vision for reaching the golden ring of all that is beautiful and good for everyone. Forever. That's what hope is. Continue with the definition of trust. A property interest held by one person for the benefit of another. Care. Custody. A charge or duty imposed in faith or confidence or as a condition of some relationship, as in with Creator, that you will be taken care of. The birds are clothed and fed, and are you not greater than they? Says Master Jesus. Something committed. I am committed. And I trust that everything in my experience between now and the day I lay my body down is going to be awesome and beautiful. Follow that lead. Something committed or entrusted to one, to be used or cared for in the interest of another, being of service to other people. Responsible charge or office. When you have so much trust, you begin to take office because you're being charged by the Spirit to carry out a task. But also you're being charged with energy. Charges and plugged in, recognize, plug in, and manifest. You're being charged with an office. The office of the Christ. I had a dear friend of mine some years ago. Her son passed away. And though she was divorced from her husband, and he was an only child, a few people gave their talks about the loved one that passed. His name was Pip. Hello, T.M. Garrett, my beautiful friend. Hello, Melanie. So this young man died. A couple of people gave eulogies, talks, memorial about the boy. But when it was the father's turn to talk about his son, the title of this presentation is, Do You Want to Skinny Dip? Swimming naked in the divine ocean. This is what he said over the memory of his son's life and his son's just recent passing. He says, my son did not die. If you think this, you are thinking erroneous thoughts. He says, all my son did was walked to the waterline of the ocean, took off his clothes, and dove in, never to look back. That paints this picture. Hello, Lewis. All these thumbs up. Great. Everyone is wrestling with trust. If you are not wrestling with trust on any level to any degree, you probably would not be in this human meat suit. Now, that's not to say that as soon as you find full levels of trust in your life, that you're going to disappear. But what I am saying, that when you live on these levels of trust, in some way, the you that you know will have disappeared. And you will also disappear from other people's sight, because you will vibrate much higher than they are. Not that you're better than they are. The energy is high, so it takes a special eye to see higher frequency. So what do we normally do when an issue of trust presents itself? What is the natural response? To clamp down. From my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Spirit and I were talking about right, wrong, and struggle. Spirit says, yes, that internal struggle is what I meant earlier when I spoke about right and wrong. Confusion has shaped your every doubt. Doubt has created your confusion and lack of clarity. Fear has taken away your power to create the life you truly want. These are your only opponents. There are no others. The only way to win this game we are talking about here is to stop playing it. I asked Spirit, how? Stop thinking that you yourself are incapable of creating something beautiful. When you doubt, you either move forward in time or back away from the power of the here and now. Doubt always creates gravity, drag, and dread, and as soon as you entertain it, it stifles anything creative you were trying to will forth. Only when you trust that everything will fall into place will you find real power. That's what I was talking about when I read the definition of naked. Pulling open the clothes, pulling open the skin, exposing ourselves. And it said in the very definition, the naked truth. So when we expose ourselves and become vulnerable, and we feel like we can be harmed because we're at our weakness, that's an illusion. It's your strength. Because the trust is the sword that protects you at any time that you're feeling weak. Trust is the sword. It called it a naked sword. Because when we're naked, the light is exposed. Is that not the power? Is that not where protection and all that is good and serving and magnificent is? Only when you trust that everything will fall into place will you find real power. So when we find trust, basically, when we live in trust, we are becoming vulnerable. We are skinny dipping in the divine ocean. We're becoming naked. Our light becomes visible. And I say to Spirit, it's not that I don't trust. It's more that I don't know how to let go of doubt. Spirit says, I know what you're trying to say, dear one. So let me suggest this. Give yourself the gift of accepting, if only for a few minutes at a time, that you are in a state of knowing at all times, a state in which you can easily recognize whether or not there is doubt, whether or not there is trust, whether fear or love is in charge of your life. Then begin to peg the power that doubt holds over you and use this to your advantage. If you notice doubt, just redirect your knowing to cancel it. Realize that nothing can possibly manifest through it. Let the knowing part of you that so wants to blossom transform doubt into trust, then watch what happens. The knower within you, with the know-how to get what you want, will silently emerge. If you take your trust to the ultimate level by wanting nothing and trusting your higher self, God, with your entire life, Spirit will begin to move within you and give you something far beyond what you can dream up on your own. You have heard the saying, it takes one to know one. In such a beautiful way, in such a way, the self will see its own beautiful self, the true miracle, for I am everywhere. As you endeavor to see and be my miracle, You will come across many keys that fit many doors, but only one will release you from the emptiness you feel. And I say, or ask, which one is it, knowing something's up? That's the one that opens the door leading to the void where miracles can happen, basically outside of the box. Because now we're stepping out from what we've always known, our comfort zone, into a space of trust, and it feels like you are falling. I know, I live it every day. Don't believe the lie that in a dream at night, if you fall out of a building and you hit the ground, that you will die. That is not true. I've done it. I was aware enough to tell myself, stay conscious, Keith, hit the ground. That's exactly what it feels like in any area of our life when we feel that we want to jump, but it's so damn scary. And finally, when we do, we actually start to get some momentum behind us, terminal velocity as we begin to fall, but yet it's too darn scary. And we grab onto something to hold on when it only took a few more seconds, a few more breaths, just maybe powerfully, just another simple intention. I'm going to be caught. It may be an ongoing process, but each time you will fall a little further and a little further. And Spirit says, I repeat, which one is it? We're talking about many keys that fit many doors. The one that opens the door leading to the void where miracles can happen, outside of the box, outside of the norm. And I say, but it's so scary to go there. Spirit says, I know you feel intimidated, but I assure you that if you're willing to go through hell to get to heaven, the divine that occupies these seemingly empty spaces will be revealed to you. And I say, that's easy for you to say. Know that I do understand your reluctance to confront the abyss of your own demons. That being said, do it anyway. For I am with you in places where you are not yet present within yourself, to give you what only I can. That feeling that everything is okay. All you need to do is let go, trust, and expand your awareness until you recognize the sureness of that. Trust. And I say, will you walk with me? God says, right by your side. Now close your eyes. Everyone participate. Now close your eyes and think of something that is troubling you. Just breathe in and out evenly for a few minutes to fall deeper into yourself. Take notice of those negative feelings that come up. With your last exhale, release your troublesome thought to the universe and listen carefully. Do you hear it? And I ask, hear what? The soft voice of the soul whispering its wisdom into your heart. I said, I've been able to do this before when I've meditated on some other issues, but I can't seem to consciously make the connection on this one as to why I got nauseous before this presentation, and after which I am going to go into a meditation and find myself in a state of alleviation and move towards another rung up my graduation. You can bet on it. And I said, I can't seem to make the connection on this. Spirit says, then you must go even deeper to discover where your demon dwells. When you find it, it will probably look like a scared child cowering in a corner. But do not be fooled by its appearance and do not attempt to offer it pity, because it can and will take advantage of you. If you must use another intense visualization to yank your demon out of your subconscious, then offer it up to the light of consciousness and watch it melt like the vampires you have seen in the movies. When you begin to see through all of your illusions, the beauty that has always been there will humble you. The circle of life will then curve back within you, and suddenly God will be present for you at a conscious level. When you begin to see through all your illusions, the beauty that has always been there will humble you. The circle of life will then curve back within you, and suddenly God will be present for you at a conscious level. Trust. One more piece. What about my future lessons? When something happens that you know could potentially be with you for a long time, I suggest that you heed and heal it in the very moment it transpires. And I say, please share with me how. This is really important for everyone, including myself. Something happens in your life, and it's got you. Life was never meant to be fair. It has nothing to do with fair. It has to do with fact of who you are and the truth of who you are and what you are sticking out. So there's nothing about life being fair or unfair. Life is life. It gives life to the bad as equal as it gives life to the good. It's loving. Very important piece of information if something happens in your life that can potentially be with you for a long time. While an issue is new, it is still potential energy. It hasn't frozen. It's still wobbly, vibrating. While an issue is new, it is still potential energy. It has not yet become static, but if you let it fester, it will put down deep roots in an effort to mire you in its illusion. The longer it stays frozen, the tougher the thaw will be. I know that I've been telling you that everything is God, so you must be wondering, how is it that terrible things can be God? What you perceive as terrible is not the reality of God, but an illusion created by you. What I am saying is that the mind can never open up enough to take God in, so you must open your heart in order to move out of any illusion and into my reality. I ask, but how will I know when I'm there? Spirit continues. You will know you are heart-centered when you begin to see a world made up of hues that you could have not seen before. Everything will appear to you differently, as if illuminated. You will know you have become heart-centered when you notice that joy is residing within you full time. That illumination thing's already happening a lot, where things seem to have that glow you mentioned, and everything looks like it's softly blended together. What I want to know is how to stay in that space longer. This is exactly also how you don't allow the energy of an issue to stick with you for the rest of your life. If something happens, you breathe. It burns it out. I want to know how to stay in that sweet, softly blended, unified space longer. Be conscious of keeping your breathing just as even and steady as you possibly can. Not only when you are meditating, but all the time. When you begin to live your life with this relaxed, letting go, trust, kind of feeling, and a willingness to lose everything, being willing to jump off the cliff knowing that you are going to be caught. When you begin to live your life with this relaxed, letting go kind of feeling and a willingness to lose everything to gain yourself, to be exposed, to be naked, you will have joy and complete trust where there was none before. And that space you were looking to expand will do just that. You must also stop reaching for other things first and then God when it's convenient for you. Perhaps you have been trying to seek me with all of that wanting, but it is your idolatry that has actually kept you from my bounty. Another thing that keeps you and all separated from me and my goodness is the very thought that you are separated, along with pondering the fearful thought that you are not. Need I remind you that you came here with no thing, and you will leave here with no thing. In the meantime, cultivate, nurture, and develop your soul, because that you can take with you wherever you go. And whenever your intent needs adjusting, pull out your Bible and refer to this passage of guidance. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. It's about trust. Keith, I don't know how to trust. Yes, you do. Hello, Steve, Lee, Hoel, Annie. Keith, I don't know how to trust. Dorothy, hi. Becky, Susan. Keith, I don't know how to trust. Yes, you do. No, Keith, I'm the one living in my body. I don't know how to trust through certain things that show up in my life. Yes, you do. All those other things that you've graduated through by trusting, the same thing applies. It's just that there is a fear that's present. If you want to move through this, you have to be honest. It's not calling you out. For God's sakes, I love you. You know how to trust. It's just nerving. You know that you got to take your hands off to let it happen. And you do, and you catch it, and you let it go, and you catch it. And that's okay. There is no time constraint. There's no time limit to your process. It's about always trying to be, it's about being mindful as often as you can to take your hand off the fact that you lost that job. To take your hand and your mind, your monkey mind, off of the fact that you lost that relationship. I understand you don't want to let it go because it represents something beautiful in your life. But when you let go of it, the beauty begins to graduate and the light of it gets brighter. That should motivate you. It motivates me. Lee says trust is a choice. It's an absolute choice. Everyone knows how to do it. I trust that when I stand up off of this chair, my legs are going to work for me and I can walk to the water faucet to get some water. It's a faith. It's an absolute knowing that I can do it. And he says, brilliant. Thank you, babe. Hiya, Susan. Everyone is wrestling with trust. You might be better at it than you were last year, and that's amazing. Amazing. Really, really good. And to go swimming in the divine ocean.
Access granted.
Everyone has access to it.
Access granted.
It's there for everyone. There is no fortunate few. We're all chosen. The chosen are those who choose to be chosen. And the gate opens up when we're naked, when we skinny dip in the divine ocean. In the definition of naked that I read earlier, it said peeling off the sheath or the scabbard, which is something you put a knife or a sword in a sheath. Also represents your clothes, being naked. It also represents your skin, opening up the chest cavity to expose your soul, to expose the light. And in the definition of naked, it said, the naked sword, because when we peel the skin off, it's the light. That's the sword. But it also, under the definition of naked, said the naked truth. Because when we become naked and open ourselves up and expose ourselves and become vulnerable, that's the light. That is the truth. That's the naked truth. It becomes revealed and everyone can now see you as who you really, 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 fucking really, really are. That's it. It's the naked truth. You are the naked truth. And it requires you to jump. Find that video on YouTube of Steve Harvey. Use the keyword Steve Harvey, after show, jump. Hello, Linda. Hello, Mitzi. It's about trust. I get the feeling someone in here wants to pose a question. If this is true, whoever you are, ask your question, not because you don't already know. Just maybe I could be a sounding board for you to get clear about as to why you would pose that question. Susan says, when you get to the point of totally trusting God, an amazing thing happens. Absolutely. He gives you the desires of your heart. True story. I'm living. God is so good. Blessings. Get naked, be vulnerable, be open-hearted, and have faith. Lee, do you pronounce your name? Is it Lee or Lai? I want to be respectful to you. If it's Lai, spell out L-I. If it's Lee, spell out L-E-E for me, please. Yeah. Thank you, Lee. Al Wood, how you doing, brother? Thank you, Dana. She says, love this broadcast. It's about trust. I promise you, no matter how much you got your spiritual groove on, and that's awesome. If you're in your zone and you're living it and you're full of fire, like the effulgence of 10,000 suns, keep blazing away. Just check yourself. Write it on your hand right now with the marker. You see it in the morning, put it on your ceiling. Wherever you see it on your mirror, write it with a bar of soap. Trust today. And when you find yourself stepping even for one moment at a time, it's not to prove that Keith was right. It's to support you. Go, I need to trust. Step back a little bit. Step back some more. Step back some more. You keep practicing this ongoingly because you're now aware. In the light of awareness is the trust. I am aware of this thing that would just grab me and pull me into its current. But now I'm learning to trust. And those things will no longer happen. Because when you don't trust one situation, guess what happens? What gravitates toward you is another situation to reflect to you, another manifestation, a different guise, a different face of the same aspect of your life that you are not trusting. Hello, Ganelle. Hello, William. Tina. Hi. Blessing, Susan. Ask yourself, am I trusting because I lost that job? I'm not suggesting that you do nothing. Concern is awesome. It shows your level of responsibility about taking care of self. Worry is a different energy completely. I lost my job or something happened. I'm concerned. That shows I'm willing to engage and use my power, my willpower, my spirit's power, because I trust that I can tap into it through my concern and make something happen. Versus I'm worried to death, which is fear clouding the mind's ability to understand, reason, and or think about what is the best ploy. But also the heart. It's the fog around the heart. It's the blackness around the heart. The fear is. Because it chokes us off from our power. The ability to call up what it is we want to do about it. But also we need the oomph to back it up, to have something happen. This is the power of being vulnerable. This is the power of being naked, swimming naked in the divine ocean. This is the power of trust. It's about exposing your light. William says, absolutely. Hello, Garrick. Any well-endowed spiritualist, if there's anyone that you admire, look up to that as a spiritual teacher of any sort, just notice how they have a little more trust than you, or a lot more trust, depending on how well endowed that you think they are. Jesus didn't doubt. Buddha didn't doubt. Krishna didn't doubt. Your grandparents don't doubt. Hello, beautiful Heather Sartain. Trust is where your power is. But Keith, trust sounds like I'm doing nothing at all. That's exactly what I'm telling you. And the you doing nothing at all allows the real you to step to the fore and wield the naked truth, the lightsaber, the soul. Because trust me when I tell you, we don't want the us that we know us to be, or we think us to be. We don't want to entrust that self with the light or the sword. We're not ready for that yet. So until we are that conscious in this body, we can still achieve it. We can still tap into the power, but we have to let go of the 3D world, the world out here, the physical mass, everything that's made of matter. It doesn't really matter. It's just the matter of it all. No pun intended, but yet. What really matters is the antimatter, that which has no matter at all. Because that's the real world. The world of the unseen is far greater than the world of the seen. You look out into the universe, you see planetary bodies and star clusters. Yes, you do, by the billions. That is so dwarfed by the empty space, or the spirit, which is the glue that holds everything that we even think as separate together. Heather says, and the 2D world of the media. Right? Lee says, yes, unleash your light is my entire message. So it's not, never has really been, even though maybe that's what we needed at the time of our development. It's never been about military might. This is not me talking about my politics. This is not politics. This is the law of physics and metaphysics, and it's spiritual law. It's not about muscle and military might. Because all that out there was created by a something in here. And that thing that is in here still to this day and will forever create worlds and universes. Why would we not want to trust that which has the power to create worlds and universes? Yeah, but I think I can do it on my own. God says, cool, I like your spunk. I like your fire. That's awesome. Go down there and play for a little while. Lee says, yes, let go of your conditioning from the life you have led. Integrate you human with the divine. Embrace and love yourself unconditionally, and you are fully accepting your divine essence. It's really about letting go. Skinny dipping in the divine ocean. Peeling your clothes off, peeling your skin back. Revealing what lies in your chest, what lies within you, located in this part of your being. Keyword, being. Be. Be in a state of trusting. Being. My being is in a state of trust. That is who I am. I'm being it. I'm not doing it. I am being it. There is a power in there that we all have. But why am I so reluctant to use it? Because we don't trust, not in it. We don't trust in ourselves. Because there was a time in our past, which really doesn't exist. There was a time in our past that we use said power to destroy and hurt and maim and inflict. And we have a cellular memory. It's encoded in our DNA. Before we start to handle power and play with it, so to speak, the reminder happens from another experience that says, remember the last time you used this? How did that work for you? So we don't trust, not in spirit, we don't trust in our ability to align with it perfectly, beautifully, and balanced. Janice says, this little light of mine is coming to my head. I thought you said, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Lee says, yes, goosebumps. It's being it. So right now, you might have to be doing it, and that's okay. But are you intentfully trusting to where you can move yourself into a space of absolute being it? Then you never have to do it again. Because once you are being it, you're not going to unbe it. It's a default. It's a new disposition. You're in a state of trust. Because there's no longer a need ever to fluctuate or sway. I can no longer ever be in a state of non-trust. Because I'm in full trust mode. I'm in full-blown trust mode. Tell you something that happened to me some years ago. One of my most popular bands in Memphis, Tennessee. I had created a level of living. I had good, really, I do still now, but I had really, really good money coming in, and I created a lifestyle. And when I left the project, I was scared. Bought a brand new house, built from ground up. I had no idea what I was going to do. Had a brand new Kia Sedona vehicle. I bought brand new. I did not know what I was going to do. I knew that I was advanced enough knowing that my worrying was not going to help. Ricky Vito. So what I decided to do was to fall into trust, to become naked, to expose myself, to make myself vulnerable. My wife at the time and my newborn son were in the room sleeping. And I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning. This was all in my mind. How I'm going to make a living to pay for my new house, my brand new car. So my wife at the time says, where are you going? Get some water? I said, no, I'm going to go in the living room and I'm going to do a spiritual ritual. Just don't mind me. I'll be as quiet as I can. I'll put some music on, but I'll keep it low. So I decided to find one of my favorite pieces of music. Something that opens up my heart chakra. And I began to move in the energy. I didn't dance like formal dancing, social dancing. I just let myself begin to move through the energy of this piece of music that opens my heart and begins to allow the flame inside of me to dance along with it. So what I did was, in a very light meditation, I had a conversation with my creator. And I said, here we go again. Keith is in another pickle. JP, what's up, bro? I decided I'm going to expose myself. I had no money coming in. I just lost my job that very night. I knew it was all about intention. So I stood up off of the chair, peeled all of my clothes off, and allowed myself to move through the music however I was being prompted to do so. You might think, well, Keith, that doesn't seem strange or awkward. We're naked often in our lives, and I don't have a problem when I make it. All right? I hear you. Next time you're alone, light a candle, put some music on, and allow yourself to move with the music. Not rock and roll music, something of an ambient nature like what you're hearing now. And allow yourself to move. And take your clothes off. See how you feel then. It is going to feel completely different to you than if you were naked because you were taking a shower, or naked because you were skinny dipping, or naked because you were with your partner. It's going to feel completely different. The first question that's going to pop up in your experience, if you're trying to create something in your life, a new job, a loving relationship, spiritual expansion, whatever it is, inner or outer, does not matter. You said you're naked often in your life. You take a shower, use the bathroom, whatever. I have no problem with it. I get it. Turn on some music, take off your clothes, and let the music move you. And bring God into the situation and watch how you feel. You will feel vulnerable. You will feel exposed. You will feel naked. And I hope that when you do, you find the naked truth. When you take your clothes off, when you open up your chest cavity, when you expose yourself, when you become vulnerable, you become visible by Creator. It's the light that used to be covered by a wrapping, be it your clothes metaphorically, or your skin, becomes illuminated. And it's like someone says, "Oh, did you see that light just fire up?" Basically as a metaphor, analogous, and you get Spirit's attention. It says, "Oh wow, the door is open for this dear one. Now I'm going to move in and through." The next morning I get a phone call from Tony Meharry, who offers me full-time work, and now I'm back in the same seat of financial influx that I was when I lost that job. Lee says, yes, it's very different energetically. I worked at a nudist resort for several years. It can change you to the core. Literally, I love that you said that, to the core. That's what this presentation is about. Trusting. You walk into a nudist colony. You might feel weird and strange for about 15 minutes. You stay 30 minutes, and that's all done with. Then you begin to see people as they really are. Nude, naked, exposed, unafraid of what you think. Dear Lord, that's trust. I don't give a rat's ass what you think. I'm going to just expose myself, like it or not, has no bearing on me whatsoever. None. To the core. Because the core is where we all exist. It's where we all connect and align. Then people begin to see you as you really are. And then now, whether they know they are doing it or not, are joining you in forces. Now you are tapping into their power because you have their attention and they don't even know they're doing it. And your divinity gets greater and you expand. Then you get to draw energy from the outside world. Use the force, Luke. Leave things alone. It's called unconditional love. It's allowance, acceptance, and appreciation. Unconditional love. Allowing, accepting, and appreciating. But Keith, I lost this job. Allow it. Leave it alone. I'm not saying you can't call your boss and say, hey, this was an erroneous idea, and state your case, because maybe that's why it happened. Because maybe the lesson in that initial letting you go has to do with you standing up for yourself. But let's say in this scenario, if you call back and they say, I'm sorry, let it go. Allow it. And appreciate the fact that it brought you sustenance for all those years. But also appreciate for the beauty and the opportunity it is, because maybe that door is shut for you now. Maybe it's time for you to expand in another place. So that's where the appreciation comes in. I appreciate the lesson and the financial reward that you have given me. I appreciate you. Acceptance, allowance, and appreciation. This will throw you into trust and align you with that which lives inside of you that has forever and will forever create worlds and universes. And when you aligned your trust with that divine ocean, skinny dip in it as often as you possibly can, you will find yourself in a spiritual nudist colony where everyone is exposed and everyone is able to see everyone's light. Thank you for that play in words, Lee. I know that we all have trust issues. I have trust issues. Before I started this presentation, I got nauseous, almost to the point of vomiting. I don't ever get stage fright. And it wasn't a stage fright. It was because I said to Spirit, Yanava, move through me, make me a channel of your peace. And because this presentation is about trust, trust energy begins to move through my vessel. And guess what happens? It begins to mirror to me all the aspects of my life where I have no trust. As to why I got nauseous, because it's fear, and fear always wants to project outward, to blame other people. Fear inside the body wants to regurgitate because we project outward. When you are nauseous, you are afraid. It is a metaphor, and it's also a manifestation of being fear. Whether you have the flu, whether you have a virus or not. Because a virus is exactly that. It's killing those things in your body that is causing you deterioration. What causes deterioration? Fear. I work on myself this way every day. Lee works on herself this way every day. Many people, there's so many in here that's past. We work on ourselves this way every day. Keep pushing forth. Inward is upward. Upward is forward. When we turn inward, metaphorically, we move upward towards Creator, which is actually a moving forward of things. I support you. I promise you. And those who do this kind of work often and have for years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm also asking you. But for those who are, to use a word, new to this path and really understand it really, really well, and not only through me, but through other people, you understand what this is all about, and you're trying to find your way in this dance. That's awesome. Dear Lord, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Find something that you face that you don't trust. In fact, instead of waiting for it to show up, for you to do something about it, invite it. Call it up. Go do that thing. Stop doing that thing on purpose. Do this on purpose, dear Lord. Do this on purpose tonight. Do it tomorrow. Wait till Sunday. Tell yourself, I'm going to make a ritual of this, and I'm going to dissipate this illusion that so has me boogered. As a kid, I wanted to jump off the high diving board. I was holding on for dear life to the side of the pool, and all my friends are getting up the diving board and they're jumping off. And I'm thinking to myself, how can they be doing something and having such joy and glee when I'm hanging on for dear life to the side of this pool, scared to death? Hello, Lynette. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Dorothy. So I said to myself, the next time I go to the public swimming pool, no matter what it takes, I will dive off the high diving board. And I see all my friends doing it. And we only got 15 minutes later left till the pool closes. And I said, fuck this shit to myself. Scared to death, not trusting, but willing to try the shoe on to see if it fits. I climb up the ladder to the pool, to the high diving board, to dive into the pool. And I'm up there, and I'm hesitating. I'm starting and stopping, starting and stopping. 1, 2, 3, and I stop. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, and I stop. And all the kids are saying, come on, Keith, go, bro. And there's a line of children behind me, all the way up the ladder, all the way down into a line. There's no way down. I have no choice but to jump. Shit. 1, 2, 3, and I jumped. when I hit the water and I went under, and when I came up and took that first breath, I realized my fear was an illusion and I was never going to die. Changed my life. The whole time I thought something was going to happen that I shouldn't trust. And next thing you know, I'm getting out of the pool, running as fast as I can to the line, trying to cut in line, hopefully push some children out the way so I could do it again before the pool closed. Find something in your life tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, on your birthday that's coming up soon, whatever is sacred and powerful for you. And don't wait for that issue to surface. Call it up. I have an issue about going out in public by myself. Go do it. I have an issue about asking this man who I've been wanting to ask out on a date, because ladies don't do that, but also I'm nervous that he might say no. Go do it. Love you, Ricky Vito. I'm scared to go jump out of an airplane. Go do it. I'm scared to leave this marriage. If you know it's done and all that's left is you doing it, go do it. Your spiritual liberation is what I am always talking about. I don't jack around. Whatever you are afraid of that can bring balance and harmony into your life, dear Lord, go do it. There is nothing else. But what's going to happen when you go do it is you will find that you are shedding the scabbard, that you're shedding your skin, and you're becoming naked and exposed, vulnerable and powerful. And your soul steps to the fore. And you feel the spiritual liberation throughout your entire being, because you've released all this density and darkness that unconsciously you have been carrying around God knows how many lifetimes. Elwood says, playing music by myself. Elwood, get you a guitar, get you a microphone, go sit on a street corner, go into the mall, and do it. You may not pull it off like a maestro. That is not important. What's more important than being perfect in your musical endeavor is allowing the music inside of you to express itself. So there's no wrong of it. It's just an illusion that we live in. Go do it. Trust. Jump out of the airplane. When those issues show up, take them on. Stand in your power. God dang it, I trust. And move into it. It's like a kid standing up to a bully. Not in a confrontational way because he wants to fight back. It's not about the fight. It's about taking your power by standing for yourself. Standing within yourself. Being planted in the trust. I trust that I am going to be 100% okay. I live my life in this dynamic all the time. I don't worry anymore. I have concerns, but I don't worry. And my concerns don't fog or cloud my vision. My concerns are not worrying. My concerns are using my faculties of intellect, Yah, the heart, will, which is the power I need behind my intellect, my clear mind, Yah, Na, Va, and my backbone is what's going to carry it out. Concern is a redirecting of your focus from the issue to a solution. That's power. But Keith, I really don't feel anything change inside when I make that shift. Keep doing it. Because at first, you might eat your mother or your father or someone's cooking and they use a lot of seasoning. And it tastes yummy. They may put a little less seasoning in it each time. And you don't notice because it's very subtle. But eventually, they will take you to a place that when you eat, that you have no spices in your food. Eventually. Or someone can serve you a dish that has no spices in it, that you taste the natural food, and it will taste very bland for you. As to why, if you make a shift for the first time in your life, it may be so subtle that you may not be able to tell. But after a while of eating that bland food, eating it in its essence of what it really is, your palate will shift and you will become aware of the subtle energy that has always been there, but that has been clouded by the fear, been clouded by the spices, the things in life that are hot, the anger, the issues. That's just not necessary for nutrition. Metaphorical, but it makes my point. It's your power. Elwood says, I am going to do it soon. Bro, I'm going to send you a blessing right now, bro, in a Facebook love poke. Go do it. So before I go, always I want to say thank you. Now's the time to bring up any comments or questions if you have any. June 24th, Memphis, Tennessee, Radical Transformation, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You saw some of this tonight in this presentation. But we're in close physical proximity. You will feel it. I'm going to tap into a really deep capacity. And I'm going to push. I'm going to allow Yanava, my soul's name, but I'm going to allow Yanava to come through and push. June 24th. Art Body Soul Studio in Memphis, Tennessee, $20. You will get your money, plus a lot more of that worth. I'm confident in the work that I do. It changes lives. It changed my life. So it doesn't belong to me. I didn't invent it. I put a program together with the things that I know that are so powerful, with the least amount of effort. The road of least resistance. Trust, vulnerability, sincerity, humility, passion. These are powerful components of the divine pie. No joke. So it's really not about all that other stuff. But all that other stuff is about these things I just named. So let's get rid of the extraneous stuff and get right down to the bare, naked, exposed, bare essentials. Let's go right to the source. Let's go right to where it is. And it's being vulnerable, skinny dipping in the divine ocean. We're all droplets in the ocean, but it takes every droplet to make the ocean. So in essence, you really are the ocean, even though whether you know that you are it or not. And being naked, being exposed, being vulnerable, and trusting everything that happens in your life, whether you like it or not, is how you will find yourself in the cosmic, divine life current, living a life of effortless ease. No more fretting, no more sweating, no more betting, no more letting. None of it. There's no more judgment. This is not a this or a that. This is not a right or a wrong, a good or a bad, holy or evil. That's just noise. I'm part of the divine ocean. I'm going to leave all that sweating and fretting to everybody else who wants to live in non-trust. That's where they're at. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just living in the bliss, the peace, the current, the trust, the vulnerability. I'm open. Basically, check this out. When I do these presentations, I always say, Ya Nava, Ya heart, Na mind, will intellect, Va backbone. I say Ya Nava, and I say, make me a channel of your peace. With sincere, passionate intention to be vulnerable, and you have this humility about you, when that peace comes through your body, there is no issue of non-trust. They cannot coexist. You live in peace or you live in worry. So when we begin to affirm, I am a vessel of peace, then peace begins to move and fills your being. So you're no longer in fretting and sweating. That's for all the other people who are choosing to live in that dynamic. And the game gets really good when we learn to do it every breath we take. This is what Christ Jesus has done to become the Christ. This is what Buddha has done to become the Buddha. This is the path of every spiritual aspirant, no matter the deity, no matter the path, no matter the doctrine, no matter the walk. If God is love, then it's about everyone developing the level of love within to the space that God is. There is only one path. If God is love, then it's about everyone developing themselves to the level of love within that is God. In that unifying space is only one. There's no noise, there's no trouble, there is no worry, there is no discord. This is the ladder. This is the path that every spiritual aspirant has ever walked to become illumined. Jesus did not live his life in non-trust. Buddha did not live his life in non-trust. Your deceased grandparents, when they were in their elder years, they didn't live their life in non-trust. That's powerful stuff, man. Ricky Vito says love wins. Absolutely. Sue says, thank you, Keith. I am grateful to you. You answer questions I have without knowing. Blessings. Everyone, thank you very much. Melanie, thank you. Lee, everyone here. Linda, Elwood, Sue, Rick, Janice, Becky, just everyone. I love you. Please feel free to spread this to your wall. Go to YouTube and like my page. YouTube.com/Center of Light Radio. If you live in Memphis, June 24th, come see me at Art Body Soul Studio for this radical transformation, crossing the bridge to the soul. Yanava, it is complete. Real simple. You're laying down at night, you have nothing to do, close your eyes, breathe. Dear Lord, open that door for me wider than I've ever seen it or experienced it ever in my life. I trust you, and I'm going to jump. And see yourself literally jumping into the vortex. Breathe even more. Jump again. Watch what happens to you. Trust. Jump. Expose yourself. Be naked to your divine lover. And in an intimate one, relationship you will have for the rest of your life. I love you forever. Yalla.